Good morning. It's Saturday the 14th, 2023, and this is the Wall Street Weekly Wrap Up with your host, John Newquist. And it was the start of the earnings week, and we'll get into the big players this week. But we had a lot of news this week also. First, ARM come out with about probably 12 buys from different rating organizations from, you know, Piper Sandler and Jaffrey and everybody else. Again, the stock is around about 50. It went up, initially popped on the opening. We'll see. Remember, there's a lot of people who have shareholders like SoftBank and everybody else that have shares to sell. So, it's going to be choppy for the first 180 days. But it does make the Grace Hopper chips CPUs, and we like that. PepsiCo, what a great quarter. Revenues rose 6.7. All this stuff about Novo Nordisk and Eli drugs, weight loss stuff is cutting, buying at Walmart for Walmart. I don't think it's going to affect the snack food side. I mean, I think people will eat it. It might be smaller portions, but they're not going to give it up. I mean, they're everywhere. You can't go to, a place to get coffee in the morning without seeing all the snack foods everywhere. So doing well, pays a good dividend. Stocks have been beaten up. I mean, this sector has just been tough. So we're going to stay with the best companies, including PepsiCo, and we'll, ride it out. And again, the notes have been around a while. We've been dealing with 2 year coming up above 5% again. Crude oil's, got down to the 83, then popped back up to 87. You would think this war up in the Middle East would make it higher, but it hasn't been the case. Natural gas still above $3. Plenty of natural gas. This is going to come back down. But we're in the winter season and people are going to buy it. Gold kind of looking above 1900 again. It got down below 1900 for a while. Silver's still a lot lower than it was at $22, and then copper's still below 4. So numbers we watch. Orange juice. We've been watching this all summer. This is parabolic. It's going crazy. You think orange was liquid gold? I mean, this stuff is high. I don't see it at the supermarket, but it's coming. The people are pricing it up, and guess who's going to grow a lot more trees? People who have orange grows are going to definitely work on it because there's a lot of money to be made now. And the Nasdaq, went down to 28% for the year, which is really good. Remember, 8% is a good goal. If we can make 8% a year, we're doing good. The S&P's down to 12%, and of course now the Russell's negative. One of the things, they always talk about the yield curves inversion, and they talk about a release of recession, but they don't ever put the chart out. Finally, this one was pretty nice, and it shows that if we take a look at when the yield curve inverted, it doesn't happen right away. If you read this chart, we've got at least 4 months, maybe 5 months before we hit the recession and stuff. And it could be a long time, I mean, we look at it 2007, you could run it a long ways before we saw, a recession. So, I think maybe, Aprilish, maybe March, we could start seeing signs of the recession. Maybe not. This is what's the thing about it. They say it's 100%. I mean, you got data from all the big recessions, but this is a small pool. It's six of these. Who's to say seventh one is going to be that way? If it was at 700 data points and they're all 100%, I would believe it. But small pool, you can have an outlier. XM bought Pioneer for really almost like 50 billion dollars, a lot of money. Not as much as they paid for mobile back in 1990s or so, 97ish or whatever it was. But Pioneer is going to give them a lot more wells in the Permian Basin, and that's going to help them get the oil supply. And it's been going sideways. Energy's been overall good. The dividends great. All stock deal too. And the owner, I was listening to the Pioneer owner. He's going to be on the board. He likes the stock. He's going to hold it for a while, as they say. But again, Exxon's well run, and I think it's going to do well. And it's like one of our key core holdings. Consumer Price Index went up zero point 0.4. The core, which excludes food and energy, went up zero point 0.3. Charlie Bielo at Charlie Bielo does great charts. I mean, I always tell people if you're going to follow a person on Twitter, that's a person you'd want to follow. But the gas prices have gone down, and gasoline has gone down overall. But What's going up? Transportation, because of fuel costs going up now lately. But I think, like I said, overall not a bad chart. It's 3 straight months it's gone up, though. That's what everybody's watching. Is it going to go back up above 4 for total index? Again, Coles, the number, I was listening to Kramer talk about his Ulta Beauty, which is at like, down at the 52-week low. And it's not just because it's a bad stock, it's just the sectors, including Coles, has been beaten up. You can see we're not in the uptrend, we're in the downtrend. But the nugget he talked about was the surveys, the teenage girls, which is a huge spending market, are going to Sephora. First time ever. Number one market for the teenage girls. So guess what we're going to buy? We're going to probably buy some Kohl's, nibble into it, and see how it goes. Because one thing I tell you I like about the Sephora site is when you have all these cosmetics, you can put and search by the rating. So if you want like a skin cream or something else, and you've got a choice of 1,000, why not just sort by the best ratings? What people thought this is a 5-star, and you can get an idea how many people bought it and reviewed it, and that's not a bad idea. And of course, you go to Kohl's, it's right in the middle of the store, and there's always somebody helpful to go out there. But again, what you see on the website is 10 times bigger than what the store has in on the Kohl's. And I like Kohl's. You can order online and everything else. So I don't want to say I get the clothes at Kohl's, but it's makes it easy to. And of course, Taiwan Semiconductor. If you watch the Mad Money episode of October 12th, I'm going to be on there, and I asked Jim, we got new AI chips. Google, Microsoft, Meta, Intel, they are coming out with AI chips 2024. Who's going to benefit? It's going to be Taiwan Semiconductor. And that's what I think is going to be in there. We're looking to buy some more of it. We own it already, but it's one of the top, Magnificent 7, or what do you want to call it, the AI 8. I mean, it's going to be an area. These companies are all big, making AI chips. It's going to be plentiful. Now, what the U.S. will do is try to restrict them because everybody wants to buy them. Even if you get the Intel chip and it's slower than NVIDIA's Grace Hopper, so what? It still does what you want it to do. It just might not be, a few microseconds faster.
About we go to John, Illinois. John.
Hi, Jim. In 2024, we got AMD, Intel, Google, Microsoft putting out AI chips. What is the effect of this on Taiwan Semiconductor?
I like Taiwan Semiconductor very much, and I think it should be bought. My only risk there is China, and I am concerned, but I think it will be okay.
There you are. Pfizer, oh my God, Friday they come out with the news. COVID is not going to help us out. We're going to be lowering guidance, reduce demand. We're not going to stick with this stock. I thought this COVID stuff was priced in, and after the last earnings calls, they didn't talk about it. I mean, I've been watching it. It's down to 2014 level. And essentially, if you bought in 2014, you've got dead money. It pays a good dividend. But I think we're going to probably go into Lilly or something else that's got a drug that's increasing, doing well. JP Morgan, oh my God, 24% increase in revenues. This company is a juggernaut in the banking space. We got Morgan Stanley, which was wealth management. I might go to BOA for wealth management also. But, this is it's pretty amazing. I mean, other companies, like I said, Citibank's almost at the 2014 level. The sector's been hit hard. It's still in an uptrend. We like it. We're going to stick with it. We've been with it for a long time. As long as Jamie's there, we're going to stick with it. And let's talk about the last, Morgan Stanley going to drop the S&P. This is where everybody's got the crystal ball. I don't know. We're just trying to stay in the area, beat the averages, and that's good. We're not bought and sold anything. Next week we're going to buy probably Taiwan Semi more, Kohl's, get rid of our Pfizer, probably maybe buy Lilly, but we're going to look at the other charts also. But who knows where it's going to go? Some people got a 4,600. That's what's nice about it. They got no penalty being wrong. All right, with that, have a good week. Stay warm, stay dry, and I'll see you next week.